I'm Teisha Bader with the JBS News Update for Thursday, March the 26th, 2015. Israeli security forces successfully defused an explosive device that was found last night in Hebron. Border police were conducting a routine search of the area near a guard station close to the Cave of the Patriarchs in the city when they found the pipe bomb. A bomb sapper was brought in to safely detonate it, and it was then passed on for further investigation. The company squad commander said they are always aware of attempts by terrorists to hurt security forces, and that is why they perform such checks. The Palestinian terrorist who stabbed a 26-year-old Israeli woman to death this past November was sentenced today by the Judea Military Court in Israel. On November the 10th of 2014, Maher al-hashlamoun murdered Dalia Lemkus as she stood at a bus stop by the Alon Shvut settlement in the West Bank. He was sentenced to 2 life prison terms. He was also convicted of injuring and attempting to murder 2 other Israelis at the bus stop, Yeshayahu Horowitz and Yishai Katz. Amnesty International published a report today saying that Hamas committed war crimes during Operation Protective Edge this past summer. In the first report from the group specifically focusing on Palestinian offenses during the conflict, it said Hamas indiscriminately fired rockets at civilians in Israel. Amnesty's Middle East and North Africa program director Philip Luther said of Hamas and other Palestinian armed groups, in launching these attacks, they displayed a flagrant disregard for international humanitarian law and for the consequences of their violations on civilians in both Israel and the Gaza Strip. Amnesty, however, added that the alleged war crimes on the part of Hamas and others do not absolve what they claim were also violations on the part of the IDF during the war. Today's report is the third in a series on Operation Protective Edge, the first 2 focused on Israeli military action in Gaza. World Jewish Congress President Ronald Lauder gave testimony this past Tuesday before the House Subcommittee on Africa, Global Health, Global Human Rights, and International Organizations, where he urged the United States to lead the war on anti-Semitism. Lauder warned that radical Islam was fueling the flames of a new anti-Semitism engulfing Europe and criticized the U.S. for failing to lead the fight to extinguish the threat. Lauder said in order to defeat this new flame of radical Islamic terror and survive, the United States must lead. The United States can and must speak loudly and clearly to condemn this evil for what it is, the radical Islamic hatred of Jews. We will have more from that House Subcommittee on Anti-Semitism on tonight's In the News, coming up right after this newscast. Hollywood producer Harvey Weinstein was honored this week at the Simon Wiesenthal Center's National Tribute Dinner with the center's 2015 Humanitarian Award. According to The Hollywood Reporter, in his acceptance of the honor, Weinstein addressed the alarming rise of anti-Semitism across the globe and said that Jews need to be organized, stand up, and protect themselves, saying we can't allow the bad guys to win. Medals of Valor were also awarded at the event Tuesday night in Los Angeles. Recipients included Lassana Bathili, the Malayan Muslim immigrant who hid kosher market hostages from terrorists during the terror attack at the Hypercacher in Paris, and posthumously given to Zidan Saif, the Druze policeman who was killed protecting worshippers at the Har Nof Synagogue in Jerusalem. Mazbia, the network of restaurant-style kosher soup kitchens in New York City, is getting ready for Passover. The organization's staff and volunteers are busy preparing kosher for Passover emergency food distribution, with the goal of making sure that anyone calling their hotline for food for the upcoming holiday receives it. The annual Mazbia Charoset drive is aiming to serve 18 kosher for Passover meals to an approximate 25,000 New Yorkers this holiday. This year's drive also has the Food Bank for New York City as a senior partner. Executive Director of Mazbia, Alexander Rappaport, said that with help of the Food Bank for NYC and the help of thousands of private donors, we will be able to feed thousands of needy men, women, and children this Passover season more than ever. More information can be found at mazbia.org/charoset. And turning now to our programming for tonight, Thursday, March the 26th. At 8 o'clock, Professor David Menashri, an expert on Iran from Tel Aviv University, discusses the Israeli view of Iran in a lecture from ISGAP, the Institute for the Study of Global Anti-Semitism and Policy. And then at 9, Mark Golub sits down with ISGAP founding director Charles Small on L'chaim, followed at 10 by a look at the challenges facing American Jewry and the State of Israel from Park East Synagogue in New York City. And remember, coming up next in the news features the House Subcommittee hearing on anti-Semitism in Europe. That's tonight on JBS and jbstv.org. And that's the JBS News Update for Thursday, March the 26th, 2015. I'm Teisha Bader.